What's up, guys? Thank you so much for popping into my review for David Ayer's new film, A Working Man. This is also starring Jason Statham, and a year ago, last January, they put out The Beekeeper. Now you have A Working Man. And going into it, I was kind of worried. I was like, wow, you're apart. You're making a very similar type of film. But I can tell you this, these are two distinctly different movies. And I was very scared going into it that they were going to feel interchangeable. And I'm happy to say they are not interchangeable. A Working Man is actually a very good film with a very good story, with great action and great direction. I mean, David Ayer just seems to know how to capture that campy style of an 80s action flick, like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone, who actually co-wrote the film with David Ayer. So you got his imprint on here, which you can definitely feel, and I think that elevates this from a movie like The Beekeeper, which I do think that I liked that movie, but I really liked this movie a lot. I might go as far to say I loved it because I almost knew exactly what it was going to be going into it. It just was even better than I thought it was going to be because I didn't know if the story was going to be good. I thought this was going to be on Beekeeper level, which, like I said, is a film I liked. This is definitely on the next level. I think the sophistication of the story is very good. I think Jason Statham knows exactly how to do these movies now. I mean, hopefully he's not becoming the next Liam Neeson, where he's going to try to save his family or try to save someone. You know, this is like a version of Taken, where he's got to find a girl. He says he got her back. Now, Jason Statham is a working man. What does that mean? Well, it just means that he's a working man. He's a construction man, and he's got construction hands, as someone says to him in the movie. And Michael Pena and his wife are the owners of the company that he's the construction guy for. He's the manager, basically, of all the rest of the crew. So he's very close with the family. And I think Michael Pena is also great in this movie. He's not in it a lot, but he's got a couple really good scenes in this. The girl who plays the daughter who gets captured, some of her reactions and just like some things she does in the movie, not necessarily the biggest fan of. But I like the relationship. I like the tone. I like the relationship that he has with his daughter. You probably could have cut that out of the film, but it's in there, and by the end of it, it is sweet and it does work, and I did like it, and I did care, and I was really invested into this. You don't have a stupid side plot with the one of the detectives, like you did in The Beekeeper. I think this is a refined version of that. I mean, the action in this is great. I just wish there was a little more of it. And I think probably that's because of the runtime. I mean, the movie's about 2 hours long. I don't remember how long The Beekeeper was, but this is around 2 hours long. There is action in the film, but there's a lot of drama and there's a lot more going on. I just wish there was a little more action. But by the end of it, I was like, wow, I was really pleased. It's a fun time. It's more than just going to shut your brain off. You can do that as well, but if you want to kind of get wrapped up into something that feels not dated at all, but it feels like it could have came out in the 80s or the 90s. I mean, the opening credit sequence is pretty awesome. Other than the runtime, I was really into this film. Is it a little cheesy? Sure, but I think that's what you can come to expect with a movie like this. The tagline on the poster says, "Human traffickers beware." The daughter of Michael Pena gets abducted into human traffickers' hands. It's a big Russian mob where one of the guys that's part of the family feels like he's connected to the mob, so he runs a side little business, which is human trafficking. So it's kind of despicable. You have Jason Statham going after the Russian mob. He doesn't really find out until the human trafficking until later on into the film. So it almost feels like the human trafficking part of it is completely separate. And then once that storyline finally comes in a little more stronger, they didn't really play that storyline up as much. I mean, she was just more like kidnapped. She was going to get sold off to somebody, but they don't really dig into that. It's not like the girl's tortured or anything. But at the end of the day, look, I think A Working Man is a great movie. I loved it, and I really recommend it. I think a lot of people are probably going to wait to see it on streaming, but my showing tonight that I saw it, it was packed. I mean, I didn't have to sit next to somebody, but there was a lot of people in there. And as of late, it hasn't been like that. So maybe this one will do good at the box office because, the films as of the last few weeks, they haven't been doing that hot opening weekend and just kind of overall. So we'll see how this weekend pans out. I think this movie is hopefully not gonna do poorly because it was very good and I did like it. So in the end of the day, I'm gonna give a Working Man 4.5 out of 5 stars. I know that's a pretty big rating and it's a pretty big number, but this movie knows exactly what it wants to be and it never shies away from that. And I had fun from start to finish. So guys, comment down below. Do you plan on seeing A Working Man? What's your thoughts? Did you see The Beekeeper? What do you think of David Ayer as the director? Leave that down below. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because I have reviews for Death of a Unicorn and The Woman in the Yard coming very shortly. I'm going to be basically posting these reviews simultaneously. So definitely come on back to the channel for that. My review for Snow White and a bunch of other stuff is available now. And guys, you can follow me on Twitter and or X at RyanKing72 and Instagram and TikTok at KingArises131. That's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching my review for A Working Man. And until next time, over and out.